to Pipefy. My name is Victoria and I'm a process management specialist. In this video, I'm going to explain how you can make your marketing request processes more efficient, organized, and centralize the information that your team needs to deliver excellent work on time. After working with more than 8,000 companies, we were able to identify their main concerns while managing their marketing request processes, such as briefings that lack standardization. Without organized briefings, the marketing team is unable to gather essential information to perform its activities. With that, they can also waste their time manually chasing the briefings information on emails, spreadsheets, and other applications. This way, it's harder for the team to access and understand each briefing and keep track of each request status. Also, the approval flow can get cluttered and unclear to both the team and their manager. This can cause a decentralized communication among team members and decrease their productivity. Also, with that, not everyone can visualize what is being requested, what needs to be done, who is assigned for the task, and when it needs to be delivered. The lack of visibility makes the team lose track of their priorities and due dates, or even deliver something wrong. But with Pipefy, you can empower your team to make more precise deliveries with full visibility of the process, also avoiding missteps or missing important information. Pipefy allows you and your team to create and keep a pattern for your briefings by collecting essential information from your requesters in a standardized way. With Pipefy, you won't need to chase emails or paper notes to understand what needs to be done. Your team will receive every detail they need in a single place. Improve your team's communication by allowing everyone to access the request details and what needs to be done to what and when it needs to be delivered. Guarantee that everyone is aware of each request status and find the information they need in the same source. Centralize briefings and other relevant information in a single place. Ensure your team receives the details they need in the same resource so they can easily find it and check if the work is getting done according to their requester's need. Have full visibility and control of what's being requested in every step of the process and keep track of deadlines, comments, and approvals. To illustrate how you and your team can reach these goals, I'll show you what's inside a marketing request template in Pipefy. As you can see, the platform allows you to visualize every step of the process and where each request is. Each of your marketing requests is represented by a card, which contains the essential information for your team to move it through the processes phases, from new request to done. To get started, your requester must provide a detailed briefing of what they need to receive from the marketing team. To get started, your requester must provide a detailed briefing of what they need to receive from the marketing team. They can do so by filling out the Start Forms fields, which you can access by clicking on the plus button on the right side. The Start Form contains the mandatory fields that your requesters can fill out with their information and then send it to your team. Only your team members can access the Start Form when it's not public. If they have the administrator permission, they can also edit the fields inside. By clicking on these three dots, you can edit a field in a Start Form or even in a phase. Also, if you need to add another field that matches your team's needs, you can click on Add Form field and select an option, like a short text, currency, and others. Keep in mind that editing and adding fields to your pipe must be done in the planning phase, while your team still doesn't have a lot of information inside the pipe. This way, it's easier to maintain a pattern for your requests. You can also share this form by adding a unique link for your requesters. By sharing this link, anyone with it can start filling out the fields and send their marketing request. A public form is a public visualization of the process's start form. You can customize it with your logo, background, and even add a description. As you can see in this public form, most of the fields are mandatory. This means that your requesters must provide all the information that's being requested by these fields with an asterisk mark. We will start filling out the fields by adding a name and email. On the field below, your requesters can provide a title for this specific request. And of course, after filling out a title, we can select a category in this checkbox that better represents my request. In the further information field, we can also give some details on what this request is about so the marketing team can easily understand what needs to be done. If the requester didn't find the type of request they need, they can also type it on this other field. Since we've already filled out the previous fields, let's leave this blank. On the field below, we can select in which channels I want this material to be released, on social media, on a website. Let's say that we need it to be sent through an email, since it's an email marketing request. We can also select a deadline for this job through the due date field. And add an attachment to illustrate the request and provide some more detailed information. After filling out all the fields, the requester can hit the Submit button. By sending, all the previously filled information will take the shape of a card, which will be on the first phase of your marketing request pipe. By opening the card, which is the new request, you can see that the information that was previously filled out on the public form is now on the left side of the card. This way, the marketing team can visualize the essential inputs to kick off. On the right side of the card, your team will provide the updates on the request to keep everyone updated on its progress. This request already has a unique ID, so it can be easily found by your team. You can add a specific person from your team to perform this delivery. In this select field, choose an assignee that will be responsible for managing this request. And on the field below, a preferred due date for this email marketing delivery. After filling out the fields on the right side, you can move this card to the next phase, which is prioritized. You can add a new assignee for executing this request if you need to. And to keep track of this specific request and easily identify its urgency, you can also add labels to it. This way, your team can easily visualize which request must be prioritized. After this step of this process is filled out, you can move this card to the next phase of your marketing request pipe, which is doing. On the doing phase, you can add an estimated time for the delivery to be done or add a due date, which informs when this needs to be delivered by the assignee. And on the estimated time in hours, let's say 8. In the text field below, you can also write the details about this request's progress. So let's say that we created already 2 different copies for the email marketing and a static blue banner for the content. For the marketing manager to approve the work done on the next phase, it's better to centralize the information about the work. This way, it can be easily found and quickly approved or not approved. You can do so by attaching a file to the card with the work you've done or a link to a Google Drive document, for instance. If everything is set and ready, you can move this card to the next phase, which is approval. In this phase, the person responsible for approving the material can be selected through the assignee field. After the approver is selected, they will need to check if everything is correct and ready to go. In this checkbox field, we have some copywriting examples, but you can edit those options if it makes more sense to your company. Just click on the 3 dots icon next to its name. In this editing model, you can edit the options that matches your marketing team's needs, such as design, social media, or ad criteria, and many more. Let's say I'd like to add that the banner is in proper scale. After saving, let's go back to the field. If it's approved, the assignee can select yes, but if it's not approved, they can mark no and justify why it's not approved. In this case, let's say that Darth Vader approved the job. After approving it, the request can be finally moved to the done phase. If by any means the requests need to be paused or archived, you can also move it to the archived phase and check it on another time. And this is how a request is managed in the marketing request pipe. By using Pipefy, you can also use advanced resources such as conditionals or automations to level up and make your process even smarter. Now it's time for a hands-on experience. You can start managing your team's requests right now by using the marketing requests template. If you have any questions while doing it, you can check contextualized tips on how to use each feature by clicking on the Help icon and opening the Help sidebar. More than 8,000 companies already use Pipefy to manage their marketing request processes and achieve goals such as maintaining a pattern for their briefings through standardized forms. This way, the requesters send the information that the marketing team needs to get the work done in time. Improving their team's communication through efficient approval flows, messages inside the pipe, and centralized information in the same resource. Centralizing briefings and other important information in a single place, making it easier for the team to find it. Empowering their team members by providing full visibility of what is being requested, what's their priorities, who will execute it, and what's the due date. Don't waste any time and start right away. Thank you and see you next time.